Welcome back. Southridge High School held a panel discussion on how highway expansion could change the county's rural history.
Well, they won't go this way.
On November the 15th, a group met at the Southridge High School auditorium for a panel discussion on rural life and rural economics. Are they worth saving? And what do you want to do? They were there to be informed on the ways they could take a stand in order to defend their way of American life and the soil that produces the food for American tables. The issue? Just how much of our home and our community should be sacrificed for the prosperity of others. Like the early Revolutionary War colonists, who could not see their hard work and labor being turned over in taxes to support the prosperity of others miles from home, the group was looking for answers and truths to the need for highway expansions.
The fact of the matter is that a bypass in this community is going to be for people outside the community to drive around it and not stop. Just like all other major highways.
Just by simply attending meetings, asking questions, being reasonable. I mean, I understand.
The panel discussion was sponsored by the Hoosier Environmental Council, Citizens for Appropriate Rural Roads, Protect Our Woods, Protect Ferdinand Rural Heritage, People for U.S. 231 No-Build Bypass Alternative in Huntingburg, Indiana. Panelists pointed out that 80,000 acres of productive farmland is lost to development each year.
But that isn't the way it works. If you look at Indianapolis, Indiana, they have more interstate highways than 4 other highways than any other city in the United States.
Indiana has 1,172 miles of interstate, 10,121 miles of state highways, and 15,375 miles of city streets, and 66,302 miles of country roads in the road system. And INDOT highway budget has gone from $392.8 million in '91 to $797 in 2001.
Given the enormous cost of roadway construction, our transportation officials needed to investigate a broader menu of congestion measures that include other transportation modes, new technology, pricing, land use, and other strategies.
It was pointed out that more highways does not necessarily mean less congestion, nor is it necessarily the best answer in all situations to some of our transportation problems.
Highway, and businesses that are located there often come from other areas, so in other areas lose jobs while you're gaining jobs.
A direct city-to-city center travel system on a 100-mile train system is one answer, or housing in city centers that plan with the senior citizens and elderly in mind may solve some travel needs rather than more blacktops. Some panelists pointed out that the idea that saving a swamp frog is more important to society than saving a family's 100-year-old farm. Such viewpoints put environmentalists and agricultural families at odds, allowing some developers to push highways forward. Yet those same developers are not necessarily billed for the infrastructure and associated costs that come with their developments. Often new industrial development programs seek tax breaks in promise of employment, leaving the town's citizens to pick up the extra in tax payments.
There was a lot of farmland lost in the state of Indiana. You just stated 80,000 acres a year. I think the number might be just a tad higher than that, but we use that number.
Thus, cities and towns need to look beyond the surface hopes that development seem to promise. They also need to look at how that development will affect the quality of life for their community. As regards to air, water supply capabilities, and even education needs, and the cost those additional services will bring with them.
And she said it's the most expensive route. We realize it's going to take the most prime farmland, but it's going to affect less parks and something else. I don't know. INDOT says, okay, you're going to have to move your factory. The factory owner says, fine, I'll go buy some land somewhere else and build another factory. that farmland out there is also my factory. It produces corn, soybeans, wheat, whatever. Once that thing's paved over, it's really tough to grow corn on asphalt.
It was pointed out that someday we may have to no alternative but to purchase even more food from other countries, and that as oil supplies dwindle, not only will the cost of gasoline rise, but so will the cost of repairing our highways. As one panelist put it, growth brings a need for additional schools. Additional schools mean higher property taxes, and at what point does one stop burdening the growing elderly population with tax increases? Do new highways mean new jobs? Or are they merely speed routes to other sources of big business in bigger cities? For WJTS 27 Minutes, this is Toni Frick.